Live from the Mutant booth at the 2015 Arnold Classic. Big Ron Parlow's back, and I got legendary bodybuilding and all sorts of other stuff, photographer, Pierre Bernal. Good to have you on this show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. No, I'm really excited to have you here because, you know, I've been looking at magazines since I was a kid, and your photos have a unique look. You shot all sorts of crazy characters like Johnny Jackson.
Yes.
If people look at the Gasp photos that you take, all the stuff for Gasp, all of the stuff at Johnny and Branch training, putting the wraps on and all that stuff, you know, you've shot every great pro there is, and you've shot a lot of other wild stuff too.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 30 years now.
30 years.
30 years.
So now you're born in Stockholm, Sweden.
Yes.
But you grew up north, right?
Yes, up in like Alaska height, dark winters, a lot of snow.
So the cold doesn't bother you?
That's why I moved to LA.
You're a little spoiled now.
Yes, very spoiled.
Well, I tell people, I've shot with you once for Gasp. We did like a lifestyle shoot with me and Matt Lair. And I tell people about how it was like 43 degrees Celsius.
Yes, very hot.
Which was like, what, 110 Fahrenheit. And it was out in the sunlight. We were wearing long pants and long sleeve shirts.
It was brutal.
It was a long day.
Very brutal. Very brutal. But now, you took it like a man.
Well,
like
you know,
I
respect
that.
Canadian toughness. You don't whine
Exactly.
about nothing. So
yeah.
I try to, anyways. So I wanted to ask you some questions.
Yes.
I want to know how did you get started in taking pictures, photography? Period.
You want to have the short version or the long version?
Well, you know the
medium version.
Yeah, the medium version.
You know, the funny thing is, like, when I was in middle school, I loved drawing muscle guys.
Okay.
I did a lot of drawings, you know, muscular guys. So I used to think it's been with me all the time. And, you know, as I grew up, I started swimming because I wanted to hit the gym, but I was 13, right? So I felt I can't go to the gym at 13. You were not allowed. So let's do some training, like swimming, to build a base. And that's how I got started. And I was always fascinated. I remember I saw a pumping iron. Maybe you did too.
Yeah.
And it had such an impression on me because I was like, wow, that is different. Very fascinating. So I think I was like around 18. I bought my first camera. And I was already, you know, bodybuilding. I was competing one time.
Okay.
Took second.
Hey, wow. See, even Pierre Bernal's been on stage, right?
Yeah, but lightweight. But I mean,
hey, no, it counts.
I was pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
Skinny. So at the time, I just got into photography. It was just hit me. I want to have a camera. I just bought a camera. And I love reading Muscle and Fitness. And I was taking pictures of the magazine, right? I put the magazine out, and there was Frank Zane. Frank Zane was that was what I levitated to.
Yep.
So I was taking pictures, so I think my mind was already starting to work. And, you know, just a year later, I did an internship at a bodybuilding magazine in Sweden called Body, B&K Sports Magazine.
Okay.
And I was just hooked. I just felt like I had an opportunity to do a story. So I was shooting it, and I was writing the article, and I felt like, God, this is what I want to do. Because it's like, if you do a good job, it's there to the world to see, right?
Yep.
If you do a bad job, same thing. But I just felt, it just resonated with me, and I felt, this is what I want to do.
That's cool. So then what happened? Like, how did you wind up taking pictures of the best pros in the world? And what do you think your breakthrough was?
It was a process. I remember I started working for this Ove Ritter. He was the owner of the magazine. I did just like a year of getting to know photography, you know, go to school. And I got a shot. So in the beginning, I was writing articles. I was translating articles from, you know, Muscle and Fitness, writing my own articles, and I had to take pictures for them. So that's how it started.
Right.
And, you know, I think
You couldn't just Google stock images back then?
We're talking 85, 86, you know, this is like way back. So at the same time, you know, you had pros coming to Scandinavia, and I had a chance to start working with it, shooting the pros, and the rest is history. I think Bob Kennedy saw my shots, and I got some stuff published in Canada, in Muscle Mag.
Okay, yeah, Muscle Mag.
And then Joe Eater, you know, got to know about me. You know, he had me shoot Samir Bano.
Right.
Yeah, this was like late 80s.
So was he the first Mr. Olympia that you shot?
Yeah, Samir was the first Mr. Olympia. It was actually amongst the first pro that I shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I saw him just a few days ago, so it was funny. We were joking about it. So, yeah, and then, I don't know, I just felt like I have to move to America.
Right.
So I wrote Joe a nice letter, and he invited me over, you know, come and test it out. So I moved here in 1990 and got a shot, and yeah, I got hooked, you know.
Have you been in LA since 1990?
No, you know what I did? I was traveling back and forth to Sweden.
Right.
For like 7, 8 years. So I was shooting for, started with like Muscle Fitness, Flex. Then a good friend of mine hooked me up with MD.
Okay.
And in between there, I shot for WBF, you know, Vince McMahon. He had a bodybuilding federation. Yeah.
Well, this guy's been everywhere.
Yeah, so it's like I've worked with everybody.
Yeah, that's cool. So at what point do you think your pictures took on their own style? Like you know what I mean? At what point do you think people started going, that's a Pierre Bernal shot?
It's a tough question, but I think, I remember I shot this French guy, what's his name again? I feel bad about it. Beautiful physique.
Was it Francis Benefato?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So I was shooting Francis. I'm a little bit, you know. Today's been a long day.
All you had to say was French and beautiful physique.
Yeah.
And I knew it was Francis Benefato.
So I shot him.
Yeah.
And I found my voice, and that's what I say to everybody. You know, it's a lot of up and coming photographers asking, you know, what's the
black
trick?
And white pictures?
Yes, black and white.
I remember those ones.
Like on jeans.
Yeah,
You remember?
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah, there you see. So yeah, so I think that's when I kind of started feeling. You know, it's all about a vision. You gotta just follow your eye.
And you start feeling confident that you can just do whatever you want.
No, never. Now I'm getting there slowly. No, but it's yeah. So.
But
yeah, Francis. Yeah.
You've also shot a lot of mainstream stuff too, right?
Yes.
Like you've done covers for Esquire magazine and you know, other sort of
FHM. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been shooting a lot of beautiful girls, right?
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's
tough. Someone's got to do it. So this through syndication, you know, they get they see my shots and they want to buy it and publish it, you know. So that's how it works.
Wow. So at this stage, what's your favorite thing to do? Like, what type of phone call do you get and you're just like, oh, I love these jobs?
I got today. I was asked, when are you back in LA? Oh, Friday. Why? Oh, looks like we have a shoot with Dolph Lundgren, a cover shoot next Friday. That's cool, you know.
Right. When you get, you know, someone who's sort of super famous and you get to contribute and do something different with them.
It's not that I'm, you know, it has to be famous people, but I like people with passion and dedication, and it's like has accomplished something. A lot of the athletes that I shoot, I mean, they're tremendous. Like, you know, what they did with their physiques, they're like accomplished something, right?
Right.
And they're passionate about it, hardworking. That excites me.
Now, when you look at like how signature your shots are for Gasp, and I'm looking at the Gasp booth, which is right across the aisle. But you know, when you look at those, when you go into a shoot like that, and you know they want hardcore, is there like certain things that you know you're going to do ahead of time, or do you just roll with it?
Yeah, it's like I have a secret thing that I do. No,
you have a setup on your camera. No. You put a hardcore filter on.
Yeah, exactly. I think. I go by eye, you know. It's all about the eye, you know. You go by eye, and what I do with a company like yours, like MUTANT that you work for, or like Gas, Better Bodies, I think the ideal situation is that you can create a brand identity.
Right.
So I do think a lot. I do a lot of research, and I'm trying to come up with something that I feel is like could be their identity. You know, you help them find a voice. It's like with MUTANT, we discussed some stuff, you know, earlier.
Yep.
And with Better Bodies, and it's a little bit organic because it kind of grows. You start somewhere. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and then you kind of build on top of it. But usually, it doesn't change a lot. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. It becomes your signature, becomes your way of doing things.
And I think it's like a lot about the company that I work for. It's like, of course, I deliver. It's my voice. I kind of deliver it, but I got to understand what is that company standing for, what kind of fits their profile.
You need to make sure you represent them. You can't just come in and just put your name all over it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I use maybe like when earlier, like in my career, you know, I felt it's so very important, but I think it's about teamwork. You know, you're working with a team. You have this company, they give you the, you know, here, you know, help us with
They're trusting you too.
Yes, it's a trust, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a family, and it's a strong bond, and you got to be a part of that team.
Is it safe to say that you're, like with a company like Gasp and Better Bodies, you're like their signature go-to guy?
I would say so.
Yeah, because you've given them exactly what they were looking for. And they want to keep that brand identity without changing it too much.
Yeah, I think it's like, if it works, why you know, if it works and they feel it's, I was able to represent their vision, because that's what it comes down to.
Right.
It's their vision. I have to try to deliver that.
So, what about bodybuilding?
Yes.
You just shot the pre-judging for the women's physique and the men's 212, right?
Yes.
And how did that go for you? I mean, that was just like an hour ago.
Yeah, that was just an hour. And I did a shoot this morning, early.
Yeah, and I saw you this morning at the gym. I went to train at 6:30 with Big Gabe and Manuel, and you're at the gym shooting PJ Braun and his wife Celeste.
Yeah, just like something quick, you know.
You know, it's just, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
So how did this go for you? Like when you're shooting a bodybuilding show now, do you find yourself still watching what's going on, or are you too kind of focused on just capturing images? Like, are you aware of like who's going to win and all that? Are you thinking that in your head?
I'm looking at it. You know, of course, let me tell. Yeah, of course, I see what's going on. But a lot of time, you know, I got to make sure it's like exposure is right, the focus is right. So it's not like you're sitting back and you're just looking at the show. Never.
Yeah.
But I get a sense, you know, if someone is good or not.
And you could tell from the. Do you think you see something through the camera that the people don't see watching the show?
Maybe some. Yes, I think so. In a way, yes.
Right, because you're looking a little deeper into what's going on. You're waiting for those perfect moments to capture.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I mean, I've been in such a long time in the business, and I have an eye for it. So you kind of see how a physique flows. And a lot of time I could just say, you know, too bad that guy is too big. You know, he put a little bit too much on there, because it's all about flow. It's symmetry, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a little bit time to think, but it's also just being, you know, it's being focused.
Yeah, probably same amount of time the judges have. They seem like there's a lot to look at, you know?
Absolutely.
So who's your favorite physique of all time to this day? Is it still Frank Zane?
I think Frank Zane was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Steve Reeves was fantastic. I kind of like, my favorite physique is like, it's got a good structure and also have athletic elements to it. And what I mean with that is like that there's like definition, and there's muscles that's been worked through, stretched out. You got like, that it has a nice flow.
Yeah, just not blocky or anything like that. Yeah,
exactly.
So you must love the kind of the old school physiques, so that's why you like them the most.
But I still think maybe best bodybuilder that I've seen and shot was probably like a Ronnie Coleman of 2001.
I was going to ask you. I mean, I know you shot Ronnie, so I mean, to shoot that up close day after the Olympia.
It was amazing.
You must just be, what the hell is that?
Or the day of Olympia.
The day of the Olympia, yeah.
That's what we do. We set up a studio backstage, and you know, we shoot them when they come off the stage or before they go on. So it's like, it's crisp. It's that day.
You've seen the craziest physique of all time, you know?
Yes. And what's important to say is, like, a lot of time, you know, I think it's an important question to people that train. Bigger isn't better. I think what it's all about, bodybuilding is an illusion, right?
Yep.
And it's all about symmetry. And I think it's like, you know, if you lift to compete or something, just try to give yourself time. The people are rushing it. And it takes time. They didn't build Rome in one day. It takes time.
And you can't sculpt a pebble.
Exactly. No, it's you know, bodybuilding is a form of art form, because it's like your body is the clay, right? So what you do is like you put on a lot of mass, but then you got to start subtracting.
Yeah.
It's like you got to start like chiseling out, you know, bring out whatever is good, you know. it's like I say, you got to find your own voice, who you are. That's what I feel is important, because otherwise you're just you're trying to be a copy of something that's really already better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have someone, I want to be like this person, and you try to be like that person. Nothing wrong with that, to be inspired, but try to be yourself, find your own voice. Then you're going to be authentic.
So if I ask you, who's your favorite photographer, physique photographer of all time, who would you say?
Me, of course, just kidding. I have great respect for Chris Lund.
Okay.
Chris Lund was like an amazing bodybuilding photographer, like incredible.
I remember his shots all through the 90s.
Yes, and it was such an inspiration for me. So for me, it was like, I was studying his stuff. And this is about finding your voice. Of course, I was like, oh, he put a light there, and I kind of tried to copy it, but I can't be him, right? So,
yeah.
But at least it got me started, and you get into it, and then you start finding who you are.
Well, this is Pierre Bernal, I know that much for sure.
Okay.
So you're a bodybuilder, artist, and one of the best physique photographers of all time. And I'm really happy that I get to get shot by you this year after the Canadian Nationals.
That's awesome.
There's going to be 4 guys on the Mutant team doing that show.
Okay.
And we're all going to shoot with you, so we got to book that up. And I'm pretty excited. Thanks a lot for coming on Mutant Live and stopping by the booth.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
My pleasure.
Pierre Bernal, Big Ron Partlow. We'll be back.
Be back. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, man.
It's good.